The main age demographic of this channel is 25 to 45, so I would guess a very small minority of my audience play Gorilla Tag. I don't even play Gorilla Tag, and it's mostly down to kids screaming in my ears. Most of these social VR games allow kids to express themselves and experiment in saying shit they absolutely shouldn't, which makes me nope out quite quickly. But I still have to check these games out, mostly because I'm a playtester and I personally need to stay on the pulse of what's good in VR and what isn't. And that brings us nicely to my first experience in playing Orion Drift in early access. It's been on my radar for quite some time, and that's mostly down to who's actually making it. On a podcast recently, I learned Another Axiom, the developers behind Gorilla Tag, are made up of some of the developers from Ready at Dawn, who brought us games like The Order 1886, Lone Echo, and Echo VR, amongst others. Now, I believe everyone who played Lone Echo for the first time in VR found being in zero gravity and using your environment and arm jets to move absolutely incredible. I think everyone who played Echo VR found the freedom, controls, and speed also incredible. And I think it's fair to say that Gorilla Tag introduced a movement system that is only possible in VR, which involves force and timing for momentum. And last night, I found out Orion Drift combines everything from all three of these games, and it even adds a little bit more into the mix. It's been a very long time since I just wanted to explore a movement system in VR. I went off on my own, I played some golf, much longer than I probably should have, and enjoyed just messing around. But the extra movement system I was referring to earlier is that you have balls in the palm of your hand. As soon as your hand hits any surface, they appear and you can skate and do tricks, and it honestly just made me smile so much, and it kept me wanting to explore even more. I was an inline skater for around 10 years, and even though I'm using my hands in VR, it felt incredible just hitting ramps and catching air and even messing around on some half pipes. Dude, I love a half pipe. Yeah! About 45 minutes into my playtime, a couple of guys recognised me from the channel and started showing me around, and were trying to teach me even more tricks. And for those of you thinking this game again is going to be filled with screaming kids preventing you from playing, Another Axiom are introducing an age verification system, plus they have live moderators in game, which were pretty on the ball, and they weren't scared to dish out punishments to any offenders.
Just a side note, please make sure you are being friendly and following the rules, because we can kick or ban you from the server.
Is there a moderator in here?
Overall, as a social VR experience, everyone I met was awesome, and I hope the developers add an in-game friend system so you can just easily fist bump people to become friends and they keep up the moderation. So I started playing Drift Ball, and as a fan of Rocket League, I'm very desperate to get good at this. I played around 3 matches, and the last match saw me facing off on my own against 3 very good players, and instead of being dicks, they acknowledged that I was on my own and eased up and let me play. This is how VR should be. Everyone should be welcomed and helped by the community, and Orion Drift even has ranked communities, so experts won't get mixed up with casuals like me who are really just happy to be in goal right now. One thing I love about VR is sense of scale, and Orion Drift does a fantastic job of this too. The game's world is set on a space station that spins, creating a centrifugal gravity, and you get around by grabbing these bars of light energy, and just by seeing other players zipping by you in the opposite direction was absolutely incredible. You can even go faster by throwing yourself forward and grabbing back onto the bar, and I love the way every server is simulated by other space stations in the same galaxy. It's honestly a brilliant idea, and as a graphics whore, I can't wait to see this on PC, because in early access, this is clearly very optimized for Quest 2, with parts of the world rendering in later, but the frame rate was absolutely rock solid, and overall, it was an incredible sight to behold in a headset, and the player count is absolutely ridiculous. Experiencing Orion Drift reminds you how alive VR really is, and how popular it is with the younger players. And for those of you like me who get sick of all the Gorilla Tag clones plaguing the meta store right now, you have to remember all these players will eventually grow up, and most are already in their teens and are looking for more adult experiences alongside games like Orion Drift. In terms of game modes available right now, there's Drift Ball that I've already mentioned, golf, place to chill and hang out, wall climbing obstacle courses, and something else called Scrap Run, which was referred to as a death run, and it's absolutely awesome. It's basically an obstacle course with what looks like hundreds of players when you're in the headset, and bystanders can grab guns and shoot the contenders ending their run. It basically doesn't matter what you do, you'll be having fun. There's also movement training that was very beneficial for someone like me who hasn't played a lot of Gorilla Tag. You're set against a timer and have to collect cubes to complete each course, and this was only the basic course, but it still gave me a good challenge and I learned quite a lot. So I guess the message I wanted to deliver in today's video is that everyone, no matter of age, should give Orion Drift a chance. I'm not saying everyone will enjoy it as much as I did, of course, hours, and I personally had no idea that when I went in, I would be in there for 3 hours and it would just pass by so quickly. But one thing I felt while playing is that VR is very much alive, and games like Orion Drift provide a gameplay experience you simply can't get outside of a headset, and I was completely immersed throughout my time. Now that can obviously be said about many things regarding VR. Physically reloading and aiming weapons, holding items or weapons with weight, feeling being shot thanks to haptics, and of course mixed reality. But the main takeaway for me was how I felt after playing. I felt re-energized about VR. I'm not saying this is the perfect game for everyone, but I'm really happy Orion Drift exists, and I'd rather spend my time in this game than say Meta Horizon or even Rec Room right now. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.